Parenting ain't for the peaceful. From yes ma'am to what you say? Chapter 1, they weren't raised like that, but here we are. Let me tell you something that'll humble a parent real quick. Watching your child do something wild, and thinking now who raised you? Because I know good and well I didn't raise my kids like this. But the truth is the way we raise them is only part of the story. The rest, that's life, that's influence. That's the friends at school. That's the phone in their hand. That's the TikTok algorithm. That's the kid at lunch talking about you Trina fight like it's an after-school activity. When I first moved from Mississippi to Las Vegas, I knew the environment would be different. What I didn't expect was the people to be so different too, especially the kids. They talk different, move different, they act different. My daughter came home one day talking about how the girls at school kept asking, "You need that?" And she didn't mean a pencil. It was their way of asking if she wanted to fight. I was floored, like what happened to just rolling your eyes and walking away. I did everything I was supposed to do as a parent. Emailed the teacher. Had talks with my daughter. Tried to encourage her to walk away. Told her to stay focused and stay out of the drama. But I also knew it was only so long before something popped off. And eventually, it did. My daughter got in her first real fight. And I wasn't mad. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't raise fighters. But I do raise kids who will protect themselves. Because unfortunately, we're not always going to be there. Sometimes, they have to make decisions in the moment, and I need them to know how to think for themselves. Not just act out of fear or rage. That's the shift right there. I've learned I can't protect them from every situation, but I can prepare them to handle it. And that's hard, especially when you've raised them with yes ma'am and no sir, and now they're responding with what you say, like they grown. But I've learned to stop taking everything so personally. That attitude, that shutdown moment, that slick comment. It's not always disrespect, sometimes it's emotional confusion. Hormones, insecurity, peer pressure, pain they don't know how to talk about. And if I lose it every time they lose it, then who's leading? Parenting check-in. Is my child reacting or reaching out? Am I reacting or responding? What can I control right now, and what do I need to let go? Because real talk, they might not act like how we raised them, but they're still ours, and they're still becoming. Chapter 2. I said what I said until I didn't. The shift from yelling to listening most days. There was a time when my parenting style was loud, real loud. I was raised in a household where if you didn't move fast enough, you heard your full government name with a side of volume. So naturally, when I became a parent, I carried that same energy. If I gotta say it again, didn't I just tell you to? Y'all better stop playing with me. Sound familiar? Yeah, that was me. But somewhere between my oldest turning into an adult and my youngest testing every bit of my patience, I realized something. They weren't hearing me. Oh, they heard the noise, the frustration, the authority. But they weren't hearing my heart. And if I'm honest, I wasn't hearing theirs either. I'll never forget the day my 11-year-old looked at me and said, "You don't even let me explain." It stopped me in my tracks, because they were right. I was so quick to parent that I forgot to pause, to listen, to try and understand why they were doing what they were doing instead of just reacting to it. That was the beginning of the shift. Now get it twisted, I still have my moments. I'm human. They push buttons I didn't even know I had. But I'm learning to take a breath, ask questions, apologize when I'm wrong, say let's talk about it instead of go to your room. I'm learning that discipline doesn't always require volume. That connection often works better than control. That yelling may stop the behavior, but it rarely teaches the lesson. And most importantly, I'm learning that they're watching me more than they're listening to me. If I want them to manage their emotions, I have to show them how. Parenting reflection. What do your kids see when you're angry? Are you creating a space where they can talk to you, or just preparing to talk at them? Have you apologized to your child lately? Because here's the truth. You can be firm and still be gentle. You can set boundaries without breaking spirits. You can correct with love and still mean every word. And guess what? You can unlearn the loud and still be heard. Chapter 3. Let them have their moment. Everything ain't a teachable moment. Some things are just emotional ones. Woo. This one was hard for me to learn. As a parent, my first instinct used to be, let me correct this. Your child cries. You tell them to calm down. They get upset. You tell them to fix their attitude. They say the wrong thing. You shut it down immediately. But then I realized I was trying to parent their emotions instead of just letting them feel them. And listen, I know what you're thinking. I can't just let my kid walk around acting out. I get it, but here's the thing. They don't know what to do with those feelings either. Sometimes they're not trying to be disrespectful or dramatic. Sometimes they're just overwhelmed, sad, anxious, embarrassed, angry, confused, and they don't have the emotional vocabulary or tools to express it in a respectful or calm way. So now, when I see one of my kids spiral a little, I pause. Sometimes I just let them have their moment. No lecture, no judgment, no fixing, just space. Because sometimes silence says, I see you. I get it. I'm still here. The truth is the real teaching moment often comes after the emotional one. Once they calm down, that's when we talk. That's when they're ready to hear me. And I'm calm enough to say what needs to be said without snapping. That's when the growth happens. For both of us. Real life example. One of my kids came home slamming doors, stomping through the house, attitude on 100. The old me would have been like, excuse me, you don't pay bills here. But I waited, didn't say a word. Later, they came to me and said, I had a bad day, I'm sorry. I just needed a minute. And guess what? That was way more powerful than any punishment I could have given. Parenting pause. Are you giving your child space to feel? Can you hold space without needing to fix it right away? Do you allow your child to cool off the way you expect others to let you cool off? Because here's the thing. We want our kids to have emotional intelligence, but we have to first let them have emotions. Chapter 4. You can trace them alone. Even if you want to. Because, I got it, gets real heavy after a while. I used to wear, I don't need nobody like a badge of honor. If my child needed a ride, a snack, a prayer, a whooping. Back when I was that mama, I handled it. If school called, I was there. If somebody disrespected them, I was on the phone. If they needed love, a structure, advice, a hair appointment, or a game time pep talk, I made it happen. Because I'm the mama. That's my job, right? But here's what I've learned the hard way. Doing it all by yourself will burn you out and break you down. It's not a flex to suffer in silence. It's not strength to do it alone. It's survival, and it's exhausting. Yes, you're strong. But you're also human. There were times I felt ashamed to say, I need help. Not just with bills or babysitting, but emotionally. Help when I didn't know what to say. Help when I questioned if I was doing enough. or too much. Help when I was scared for my child and couldn't even find the words to explain why. And let me tell you, once I stopped trying to be the only one holding it all together, I felt lighter. Not because someone swooped in to save the day, but because I let people in. That might be a partner. That might be a therapist. That might be another parent who gets it. That might be God. But, whoever it is, let them in. Let's talk real life. There are moments when my husband catches things I miss. Moments when one of my grown kids speaks truth into their younger siblings better than I ever could. Moments when a teacher, a mentor, or even a stranger says something that sticks. And you know what? I'm thankful for every one of those moments. Because I can't be everything, and that's okay. Parenting reminder. Ask for help before you break down. Let someone pour into you while you're busy pouring into them. Accept the village. Even if the village looks different than you imagined. Because this is the truth. You can raise a child with love. You can raise them with wisdom. You can raise them with your whole heart. But you can raise them alone. Chapter 5. I'm not mad. I'm tired. And no, it's not the same thing. Let me clear something up real quick. I'm not walking around mad all the time. I'm just tired. Tired of repeating myself. Tired of hearing I forgot. Tired of seeing dishes in the sink after I just cleaned the kitchen. Tired of trying to be a good example, while also being a human with limits. I'm not mad at my kids. I'm just tired of always having to be on. Because being a parent isn't a part-time job. It's 24/7, no off days, no PTO, no clock out and deal with it tomorrow. Even when you're sitting down, your brain is running through meals, moods, missing shoes, and emotional check-ins. And when you add life on top of that, bills, work, relationships, your own healing, now you're tired. And here's the problem. Tired starts to look like anger if you don't give it a name. You snap easier. You lose patience faster. You start assuming your child is trying you when really you're just tapped out. Here's what helped me. I started naming what I was feeling. Out loud. Instead of yelling or shutting down, I started saying things like, I'm really tired right now. I need a moment. I'm overwhelmed and not in a good headspace to talk. Let's come back to this. I love y'all, but I don't have the energy to be the best version of me tonight. And you know what? That honesty helped my kids open up too. They started saying, I'm not mad, I'm just annoyed. Or, I'm having a rough day. It created space for truth instead of tension. Parenting check-in. Have you eaten today? Have you had a quiet moment to yourself, even 5 minutes? Do your kids know what your tired face looks like? Or do they just think you're mad all the time? Because here's the truth. You're not a bad parent for being tired. You're a human doing the most for the people you love. Just don't forget to love on you too. Chapter 6. One kid. 7 personalities. Same house, same rules, completely different results. You ever look at your kids and think, how did all of y'all come from the same house? Because listen, I have 7 kids. And not a single one of them came with the same manual. Some are sensitive. Some are strong-willed. Some are introverts. Some won't stop talking. One needs a hug, another needs space. One will tell you every detail of their day, and the next one will hit you with fine and walk off. And as a parent, that can feel like a full-time personality test with no answer key. What worked for one doesn't work for the next. I used to think I could parent all my kids the same. Same rules, same tone, same consequences. But what made one child feel safe made another one shut down. I've learned that parenting isn't copy-paste. It's copy, adapt, customize, repeat. One of my kids needs soft tones and explanations. Another responds better to direct instructions and structure. If I talk to them the same way, I lose both of them in different ways. Here's the challenge. You're not just raising kids. You're raising individual people with their own minds, emotions, and wiring. And even though they came from the same home, they see the world differently. They feel things differently. And they need you differently. That doesn't mean you have to bend backwards or become 7 different people. But it does mean paying attention. What triggers them? What motivates them? What makes them shut down? Or feel seen? Real talk. There's no one-size-fits-all. The hardest part about being a parent to multiple kids is learning to be consistent in values but flexible in delivery. The rules may stay the same. But the approach, that's where the magic happens. Try this. Create space for one-on-one time. With each child, ask them what makes you feel heard. Or what helps you when you're upset. Watch how they react when they're overwhelmed. It tells you what they need before they know how to say it. Because here's the truth. You don't need to be a perfect parent. You just need to be present enough to notice who your child really is and be willing to meet them there.